All right, y'all. A couple days ago, breaking news from Denver. The Denver Broncos traded for Jaylen Waddle. Up until then, they made no moves, right? But their first move was trading for Jaylen Waddle from Miami. In this trade package, it was the Broncos gave away a first round pick, a third, and a fourth round pick. The Dolphins gave away Jaylen Waddle and a fourth round pick. So, Rell, did the Broncos overpay for Jaylen Waddle?
Sheesh. You said a first, third, and fourth?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. You know they overpaid. Dang. Yeah. Oh man. Denver. Yeah, y'all overpaid for Jalen Waddle. We all know Jalen Waddle is a number two receiver whose his best years came with Tyreek Hill with the Cheetah. Just an interesting fact about Jalen Waddle. He hasn't had 1,000 yard season in 2 years, and he's been relatively healthy. And on top of that, he had 100-yard game all last year. That's just crazy to me. So I'm kind of on both sides of the fence right here, and the reason being is Jalen Waddle is a really good player. Like we've seen Jalen Waddle be really talented. We've seen him take a screen 80 yards. We've seen him take a go ball 80 yards down the field. So this can play out to be a really, really big trade. But from what I've been seeing the past 2 years, Jalen Waddle can't be a number one receiver by himself. It looks like he needs another guy to kind of get him open. And that was the case the past 2 years when Tyreek Hill got hurt. But looking at it from the Broncos side of the ball, you guys were one game from the Super Bowl, 3 points away from the Super Bowl, a backup QB away from the Super Bowl. I can actually say y'all had a top three defense in the league. Um, the one part of y'all's team that I strongly felt like y'all couldn't get anywhere was the offense. I felt like Bo Nix was holding you guys back. So I've seen Sean Payton make moves like this before. I've seen him load up in the offseason, sit back and say, just plot on everything and load up and make a move. So I know what this could lead to. I honestly think this is a win-win for the Dolphins and the Broncos because on the Broncos side of the ball, they're just giving up a first, third, and fourth. And if you're giving up that just for a Super Bowl, that's okay with me. You got Cortland Sutton and Jalen Waddle. That's going to be a hard offense to stop. With Sean Payton in your ear calling the plays, it's going to be a hard offense to stop. And that defense is still going to be that defense. It's still going to be a top five defense. So, like I said, 3 points away from the Super Bowl. It's a win-win. Only time will tell.
Okay, so did this move make you believe the Broncos will be in the Super Bowl next year?
It makes me believe they will be right back in the AFC Championship. I can't
At
say Super
least,
Bowl.
at
At
least.
least, yes. I'm
Okay.
still big on the Chiefs.
Okay. So AFC Championship floor. This move made them like guaranteed AFC Championship. I feel you. Okay. Jerrick, what's your reaction to this trade? And did the Broncos overpay for Jaylen Waddle? Sorry.
I'm gonna say I'll say they did overpay, but I don't mind it because like Jalen Waddle, like we said, if they truly still believe that Cortland Sutton is the number one, because we've had multiple discussions about they need to go get a true number one, but then multiple times Cortland Sutton has shut us up and said, "Hey, I am a number one." So if you're bringing in Jalen Waddle to be your number two, like Rell just said, we've seen he can't be a number one, but we've seen he can be one heck of a number two wide receiver. His worst season was 744 receiving yards. That was his worst season. We're talking about a wide receiver two's worst season being 744 receiving yards. This past season, with Tua and Quinn Ewers and no Tyreek Hill for half the season, mind y'all, he missed one game. He had 910 receiving yards. He was 90 yards away from 1K. Like, I bet y'all didn't even know that. Like, we didn't hear about him at all because he played in Miami with Tua. Tua sucks, guys. We know this. So I can't sit here and say, oh, Jalen Wall is not worth the first round pick. I mean, we all probably will agree. We think that first round picks are for, the AJ Browns, the maybe even the Devontae Smith is worth a first round pick. Guys like AJ, you might get multiple, but Devontae Smith, like really, really good number two. This guy's really, really good number two. And I would just say, plain and simple like this, the guy's had 3 1,000-yard seasons in his 5 years in the NFL. I think if he would have played that one game this year, he could have been looking at 4 of his 5 years being 1,000-yard seasons. Like Grill said, you're playing alongside Cortland Sutton. You have a quarterback in Bo Nix who I think we can all agree Bo Nix is better than Tua. Everybody on this pod right now will agree Bo Nix is better than Tua. So I like it. I say, like you say, you give a first round pick. You could have basically with that first round pick, they would have went and got a wide receiver, and it was hit or miss. Because that was pick 30?
Yep.
You give up pick 30, you're probably not getting Jordan Tyson. You're for dang sure not getting Carnell Tate. You're probably not getting Makai Lemon. And from there, I will say there's still a lot of good value in this draft at wide receiver, but not for a first round pick. I'll say that. Those other guys are second round, third round guys who they can still honestly go get because they still have some draft picks. So, like Rell said, you already have your defense built up. We all know that the weakness in your offense was your pass. It was really your whole offense. It was a combination. But, how do we make our run game better if we don't directly tap into our run game? Go and get another wide receiver threat. Now you can't just stack the box. And we've seen that Miami can use Jaylen Waddle in a plethora of ways, and now the Denver Broncos will be able to do so. We know how good of a coach Sean Payton is, like Rell said. So, I like this trade. Yeah, you gave up a lot, but hey, you're in, like Rell said, you're in Super Bowl now, honestly. We all agree. When you hit on your quarterback, we all think that they probably think they hit on their quarterback. You were just in the AFC Championship. You're honestly your quarterback getting hurt away from being in the Super Bowl. So, hey, I like this move, honestly.
I do believe, and do you agree with Rell that it's like the floor is the AFC Championship?
Yeah, I do. You have a top 3 defense coming back. If Bo Nix comes back looking like himself and getting better, because Bo Nix honestly didn't have the best year last year, you still made it to AFC Championship. So if he comes back looking better, yeah, I think that's honestly with the moves around them that teams have made. Nobody in the AFC has really made a crazy splash move, honestly. So yeah, I think that they can be right back where they were last year as bare minimum.
I love the confidence. I do think that Jaylen Waddle. How do I put this? If one of y'all hit me up in a Madden league and said, "Hey, I got a first round pick," no, I'll give you Jaylen Waddle a first round pick. I'll just hang the phone up. Like I won't even talk to you because I'm not giving you no first round pick for Jaylen Waddle. Let's keep it a buck. Before today, we did not think Jaylen Waddle was worth a first round pick. But I guess because of the situation, y'all are accepting it, right? Y'all don't think Jaylen Waddle worth the first round pick, but y'all will accept it because the Broncos are another weapon away from maybe being in the Super Bowl. So that's valid. I'll take that, no problem. But I do think that they did overpay. Like I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. And I talked about this in my video the other day. When you look at trades that we've seen over the past year, right, or a trade that we might see in a couple months, a first round pick is included, and these players are far better and more valuable than Jaylen Waddle. Let's just keep it a buck. Like Trent McDuffie, a first round pick was in that package, right? I think we agree that of all the players in the NFL, we rank Trent McDuffie further ahead of Jaylen Waddle, right? I think we all agree with that. Same with Quentin Williams, who was just traded this past season for a first round pick. We think Quentin Williams is probably a big gap between Quentin Williams and Jaylen Waddle. And then we're about to talk about it, but AJ Brown, a first round pick, is being asked in that trade. AJ Brown and Jaylen Waddle, we believe it's the gap in that, you know what I'm saying, in the player. So to me, with that being said, I do think you overpaid. But y'all made a good point, and I will, agree with it. If you think that this is the move to make to be in the Super Bowl next year, then hey, give the first round pick. But one thing I don't like that people have been saying is for late first round picks don't mean nothing. That's not true. That's not true. There's been really good players that come out of the first round late. TJ Watt, for crying out loud, was a late first round pick. Lamar Jackson was a late first round pick. So let's just not poo-poo on the late first round picks. Like you can hit with a late first round pick, right? But if they believe Jaylen Waddle was the guy that can get them over the hump or the guy that can help them get to that Super Bowl, then hey, I'm not mad at it. But I still believe that two things can be true. Because somebody said this other day, and I agree. They addressed the need by getting the receiver, right? But they also overpaid for it. Two things can be true. Yes, you got your need and you overpaid. The only way this can work out, though, is somewhat like the Michael Parsons thing. Like the only way the Michael Parsons trade will work out for the Packers is if they win a Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl at least. Same with this. You better get there or you better win it because you brought Jaylen Waddle in for that first round pick and basically said, okay, this is it. That's all we needed. They made no moves this offseason, guys. No moves. All they did was resign players and keep players. They said, okay, our roster last year plus Jaylen Waddle is enough to get to the promised land. That's what the Broncos are saying. And do I believe in Jaylen Waddle as much as some people do? Not really. So I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and say what y'all said. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the floor being the AFC Championship. I do believe they can be bounced in the second round of the playoffs. I do believe that. So we're gonna see. But only time will tell
Bounced
if
by
this was an
who?
open.
Who
Sorry.
right now can you see bouncing them in the playoffs? You would say Josh Allen. They just bounced him in the playoffs this past season.
No doubt. A lot of variables in that matchup. But I would if they ran it
I don't
back,
want to hear it.
if they
Josh
ran it
Allen's been
back.
the ball over
If,
5 times.
if they run it back this year with DJ Moore now being on the Buffalo Bills, and with who
The same guy that just gave up on the route. The same
Sorry?
guy that just gave up. The same guy that just gave up on the route that gave the Rams the win.
Oh, we doing that? That's what we doing. That's what
DJ Moore. I'm just
He
saying.
been doing
That's
that
what
all
we-
season.
I'm just saying. That's the DJ Moore we're talking. That's the
Okay.
that's the difference maker. So look. The DJ Moore that gave up on that route. If you replace him, if you put him in Brandon Cook's situation, he's not gonna fight for the football. He's just gonna lose it, and it's gonna be the same thing, interception. So
the ball hit DJ Moore in the hands, he catch it. I can guarantee that. The problem is DJ Moore getting to the ball. Once he gets to the ball, we good.
That's not good. Like
We
that's
gotta get him to the ball.
wow. We just have to get him to the ball. Okay.
Rell loves the Chiefs this year. I do too. Right? I think the Chiefs can definitely bounce them early. Right? I think Rell just said the Ravens lost the offseason, so I don't know how Rell feel about the Ravens, but I just can't guarantee that their floor is the AFC Championship. I can see why y'all saying that, but I'm just not gonna guarantee it. I don't believe that much in the Broncos trying to run it back. All right, y'all. So big trade rumor. AJ Brown is most likely going to be moved from Philly. All right. I've been hearing rumors that AJ wants to be he does not want to return to Philly. And I've also heard this rumor that Philly is waiting for a certain date. And after that date, the cap hit from AJ Brown being traded would be much less than it is right now. So I think Howie Roseman is playing the chess game and he's probably going to trade AJ Brown after that date. I don't have the date on me, but it's definitely a real thing. Like his cap hit will decrease after a certain date. And I think the designation is the Patriots. So, guys, do y'all think the Patriots is a great fit for AJ Brown? And does this make the Patriots? We talked about it a couple of seconds ago, right? What teams could bounce the Denver Broncos? Could this make the Patriots? Could this put the Patriots in that conversation with Denver? Rell, let me know.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I feel like this would be a great trade for both teams, for the Eagles and the Patriots. But one thing I know for a fact is AJ Brown's trade package just shot through the roof. Like it's in the sky right now. Jaylen Waddle just got traded for a first and a third and a fourth round pick. So
Thanks.
I could just imagine what AJ Brown, a receiver that actually does produce, consistently puts together 1,000-yard receivers. He's gonna command about 2 first-round picks or a first and a second-round pick at least.
So real quick, the asking price, like the Eagles have said, they want something similar to the Quinnen Williams trade. The Quinnen Williams trade was a first and second. It was next year's first, this year's second. But I'm sure if AJ Brown get traded, it's going to be this year's first, probably next year's second. So that's probably what it's going to be.
Yes, sir. And I'm sure it even went up after that Jaylen Waddle trade.
Probably went up too. Facts.
But yeah, I feel like the Patriots still make that move. It's Mike Vrabel we're talking about. He loves AJ Brown. I'm sure a couple years ago he didn't want AJ Brown to walk out the door. That's a problem that GMs have. It's not between the coach for real. So the Patriots have a lot of money and they really didn't spend it this offseason. They really just signed Romeo Doubs to a 4-year, $70 million deal. In the receiver market, that's really nothing. So another thing is I love Drake May to AJ Brown. It's just something about having a big body receiver to a young quarterback. We all know Drake May is a gunslinger. Again, a true number one option for him is just only gonna boost his career. So I feel like it just both teams go up because one thing Philly does really, really good is they draft really good, and it'll just be like getting a virus out of the locker room. So that'll definitely make the Eagles go up because the offensive coordinator could play however he wants to play and not worry about a diva getting the ball. And moving on to the Titans, Mike Vrabel knows exactly what he's getting himself into with AJ Brown. But to answer your question, no. That move would not put the Patriots back in the Super Bowl. And to be 100% honest, the Patriots are one of the teams in the NFL that I could see going from best to worst. And
Oh,
that's no disrespect. That's no disrespect to them. But I'm just saying, like the way a lot of their games were won last year, and the way this offseason went, and varying a lot of other factors in the AFC, a lot of guys getting healthy, a lot of teams coming back, a lot of teams getting better. No, I definitely don't see them running it back or getting close.
Okay. And the only reason why I'm not going to jump on Rell is because there has been plenty of years where we see a season go by and then next year we say, okay, the same two teams going to be right back because they look that good. Or we say the same two teams going to be back in the mix, right? Last year, perfect example. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. What happened this past year? They lost first round, right? So what Rell is saying could be valid. But, I don't agree, but it could be valid. So, Jerry, go ahead. AJ to the Patriots, does it work? And does this keep them in the conversation? How about that? Let me change the question a little bit.
I definitely think it keeps them in the conversation. Because it takes a lot. We can't just say teams will be back next year and just diminish them. When you look at their defense, they still have a really, really good defense. This defense, you're bringing back the number 2 corner in the league. I think he proved that in Christian Gonzalez. Your defense looks pretty good. And this is a Mike Vrabel coach team who we all agreed that he just, in one season, turned this team all the way around. And we can agree that he had a lot to do with it, not just the talent that he had on defense. Drake May's only going to get better. People are calling Drake May trash and this and that. He made it on his second year, and this is just his second year. He's going to get better. And then, mind you, I have to, he got there with Stephon Diggs, who's out the building now. A hippie was his second option, and Sean Booty. And now, if you make
what's wrong with hippies?
Huh?
What's wrong with hippies? You just got me with fat shaming. What's wrong with hippies? Now you hippie shaming?
What did the hippie do in the Super Bowl? That's all I got.
He had one of the biggest catches in the.
I'm not talking about hippies. I'm talking about that hippie specifically. Okay.
That hippie had a big catch in the Super Bowl.
That hippie did not do enough. Okay, stop it. You know this. Okay. So yeah, now when you look at this, if they trade for AJ Brown, you immediately are looking at Romeo Doubs, AJ Brown, Kayshawn. If Kayshawn Booty is your third option, that's a lot better than what you had this past season. Especially if we get the 100% AJ Brown that we know we can get. If you get the AJ Brown from not this past season, but the season before when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, then this team looks pretty darn good. Like I said, Jerrick May is gonna get better. The team's gonna continue to get better. You have guys like what's the lineman that got dogged in the playoffs? Will Campbell. He's gonna get better. He has to get better. He's a first round pick who we all know has that somewhat dog mentality. You have no choice but to get better. And I think that Mike Vrabel is the perfect coach to unlock that out of these guys. He's going to get these guys better. And I think that, honestly, like you said, this puts them back in it. It keeps them in the race. And honestly, it puts them ahead of other teams. When we look at the teams that were in the playoffs this past season, who can we confidently say with A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs they can't beat?
You gotta ask Rell. Don't ask me. You gotta ask Rell.
Who can we say they can't beat? We're gonna give the nod to the Chiefs. We'll probably give a nod to the Broncos because we're going to say, they didn't play the Broncos with Bo Nix. The weather happened, and then the Broncos did just add Jaylen Waddle. Other than that, they're going to beat these other guys, honestly. And so
I don't see the Ravens making no Super Bowl run, but the Ravens for sure would beat them, for sure.
You think the Ravens will beat the Patriots?
For sure. I told you, I don't, just like the Commanders went. And the Patriots could do that same exact thing.
Wait, what the Commanders do?
The Commanders went. You know what I'm saying? That could easily happen. It's gonna happen to a really good team in the league this year. It's just gonna happen.
That is valid. That is.
But look at the pieces that the Patriots have that they don't. A part of them, like you said, free falling from the sky. was they don't have no defense, and they have a guy that can't stay on the field at quarterback. They have a guy that has no problem with staying on the field at quarterback, and they have one of the best defenses in the league, and they're implementing pieces around him to be better. The Commanders didn't do that. The Commanders last season did absolutely nothing. So I think that, yes, like you said, there's always a team that goes from the top to the bottom, but I don't think it'll be the Patriots. I don't.
And they had the Commanders added Deebo Samuel. What they saying at one point, Deebo Samuel got BBL? Or am I tripping?
Dog.
Am I tripping? I'm not making that up, dog. No way.
No, they said that. They were saying that, bro.
Come on, dog.
Yeah. So for me, look, this is the dream scenario for the Patriots and the Eagles, right? The Patriots, you get that legit number one receiver that Drake May has not had yet. And for the Eagles, you get rid of a guy that he wants his numbers more than he wants to win. And the problem is you're playing with a quarterback that we know Jalen Hurts don't care how the numbers look. He just wants to win the game, right? Jalen Hurts will not put the ball in harm's way because he just wants to take care of the football and win the game. Jalen Hurts don't care how it looks. We know that, right? A.J. Brown is not down with that. A.J. Brown wants his numbers. You're going to a guy that I've been saying since UNC is a guy that I trust to come in the game and throw the ball 40 times a game. That's how much I trust Drake May to put the ball in the air and make the right decisions. You can give him 40 pass attempts a game and he will make it work. So that's 40 pass attempts. That means a lot of volume for receivers, right? So A.J. Brown going here is a dream scenario for him. And luckily, A.J. Brown gets to stay in the championship conversation. Since he's been in Philly, they've been in championship conversations. Now going to New England, he can stay in the mix, right? And get what he wants at quarterback. While the Eagles, Rell said it best, they draft extremely well. Howie Roseman knows what he's doing in the draft. The Eagles will have 2 first-round picks. Their team is still loaded. They just kind of got to replace A.J. Brown to an extent. Not necessarily replace him with one player, but maybe add 2 nice receivers, have a stable. Or, you know what I'm saying? So, to me, this is the perfect scenario for both sides. And I do think that adding A.J. Brown keeps the Patriots in the mix. Right now, with just Romeo Doubs being added to this offense, because basically you just traded Stephon Diggs and Romeo Doubs, right? You just got rid of Stephon Diggs, added Romeo Doubs. Rell, you like Romeo Doubs because he was on your Packers, right? So he's solid, but he's not. I don't think he's a legit number one. I don't think so. That's just me, right? So if you add AJ Brown with Romeo Doubs, your receiving room automatically is better. Kayshon Boutte, as much as we joked on him, he got better as the season went on. So now he's the number 3, right? You also have Kyle Williams. You still got the hippie in there, like Jerrick said. So to me, the Patriots are right in the mix if they make this move. It's just a matter of if they make it and when they make it. But I love it, and I'm bold. And I tell you what, the way y'all just talked about the Broncos saying their floor is the AFC Championship. If the Patriots make this move, their floor is the AFC Championship. Stamp it.
I got a question.
Thanks. Yes, sir.
So I have 2 questions. So coming from an Eagles guy. So what do you do once you trade AJ Brown? If you trade him after, because you said like a May or June date.
That is true. I did say that. Yep.
That's after the draft. So do you draft his replacement now? Is Smitty your number 1? Like, what do you do moving forward if you're the Eagles?
Right now, Devontae will be your number 1 receiver, and I don't think that it is crazy to say Devontae can be a number 1 because we see.
I don't mind it at all, but I think you do need to. Hollywood Brown can't be your wide receiver too. That's the guy you just signed. Like that's not gonna cut it. So what do you do? Do you trade? Do you draft?
You have to draft. If it is set in stone, then you're going to draft accordingly. You're going to draft accordingly. You're going to draft knowing that AJ Brown won't be on the roster moving forward. Right? Like you said, I'm tripping. I had that mixed up. I said they could use those 2 first-round picks. Well, no, it'll be a first-round pick next year if this trade happens after the draft, right? I'm trying to pull the date up that Adam Schefter said about June 1st. So that's after the draft. right? So you're gonna have to draft accordingly. The Eagles have to move right now as if AJ Brown is no longer in the building. One thing they did that was important, in my opinion, was bringing back Dallas Goedert. I didn't know about it till yesterday, right? I thought Dallas was gone, but they brought him back. So you got Dallas, you got Devontae, you still have Saquon, of course, in the backfield. So yes, draft accordingly. Draft your receiver. I trust Howie Roseman. We trust Howie Roseman to draft a good receiver. Like that's not even a, you know what I'm saying? So they got to move like AJ Brown's gone essentially. So what was the second question?
Patriots make the trade. Who's the favorite to win that division?
I gotta honestly, honest to God, it gotta be the Patriots because they're better on both sides of the ball. What side of the ball is the Buffalo Bills better if they make this move?
I just wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No facts. No facts. They're definitely a favorite. And I think Rell believes that. Rell just think they could be like. I think Rell just thinks they could be like the Eagles this year and losing the first round more so than he think they can bet the Commanders and fall off like that. I think you're leaning more towards Eagles, right, versus Commanders.
I promise, I'm not even trying to rage bait you. I promise.
No, you are rage baiting.
I can literally see them going more towards the Commanders. The AFC is competitive. It's hot.
It is competitive. It's hot. No doubt about it. But no, I can't. Like the Commanders, what they did was catching lightning in a bottle. They surprised everybody, right?
Patriots
whenever they made that
everybody.
Run to the Patriots surprised everybody, but then we kind of sat back and said, "Oh, their defense nice." The Commanders' defense was never nice. We was like, "Oh, Jaden Daniels is just that dude." Like you said, Jaden Daniels is dang near top 5 because he carried a bad team to the NFC Championship. When the Patriots got rolling, we sat back and said, "Oh, this is actually a solid team. Like this is not a bad team overachieving." I think this was a team that was bad the year prior, went stupid in free agency, brought in a coach that knew how to win, and had a second year in Drake May. And they showed us, oh, we're good. Versus the Commanders, more so like they caught lightning in a bottle. They got hot, like a March Madness team almost. That's how I feel. But that's okay. You're not ready to bait me tonight. Because time will tell. Time will tell.
They feeling like in 7, leave a comment down below.